at Sports Nola and with the original. And speaking of prep, our next speaker is a guy that distinguished himself pretty well in high school. In fact, so well that he was honored most recently as being named one of the top 20 for 20 years. Friday Night Football on ABC 26 is one of the top 20 players in the metropolitan area over that period of time, and he certainly was at O'Perry Walker High School. He then went on to quarterback the LSU Tigers from 1995 through 1998, started 31 games, led LSU to a 26-5 record, passed for 5,876 yards and 40 touchdowns. He rushed for 778 yards and 23 scores in his career. Truly a dual threat quarterback, just like Hebert. No, not really. Please give a warm welcome to Herb Tyler. Herb?
All right, good afternoon. Thank you guys. I'd like to thank the Quarterback Club for having me today, Mr. Ken for inviting me again, once again. First thing I'd like to say is I want to apologize to Mr. Ken and the club for not being able to make it a couple of weeks ago. I had some circumstances that came up, and I was unable to make it here, but I'm here today. Go Tigers. That's all I got to say, man. I mean, it's, 13-0. You got to give these guys a hand. It's a wonderful thing when you can see things before they happen, as I tell my son all the time. At the beginning of the season, I thought we had a really good chance of going undefeated. I saw an Alabama team that was ready for us, and I thought that they were going to give us their best bet. But I thought that everybody else we played, with the exception of West Virginia, I thought we would do pretty well against. West Virginia posed a different type of offense, different type of game that we're used to playing. But, as the Tigers did all year long, they showed them who's number one. And it starts with defense. A lot of people have been talking about, offense, as Bobby knows in the NFL, with Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and all those guys putting up phenomenal numbers. Well, if you come back down to the college ranks, you see LSU and Alabama also putting up phenomenal numbers on defense. And the defense wins championships. In this particular championship season for LSU, and I'm calling it right now, is based off of our defense along with our special teams and then our offense. Our defense stands above everyone else, including Alabama. But with the actual numbers, Alabama ranks number 1 in total defense, LSU is number 2. But at the same time, we've got some playmakers out there that Alabama doesn't have. They don't have a Tyrann Mathieu, They don't have a Claiborne. They don't have a Reed. They don't have 9 guys interchanging on the defensive line that can play anywhere in the country and start and be one of the greatest out there, period. I like to take my hat off to Coach Les Miles for being able to gather his team's attention during all the turmoil prior to the season, during the season, and even before and during and after the Alabama game. He got those guys together. Before this particular SEC championship game, it was tough. All the questions was about the BCS championship. Well, the first goal of the team is to win the SEC West first and foremost, and then to win the SEC championship, which they have done. Les Miles has done a great job along with his coaching staff and along with his seniors and his other leaders on the team to do that and to gather those guys' attention. I really, really, really just want to, just let those guys know that as a former Tiger man, I can't be any more proud of those guys. I like the way that Jarrett Lee is handling this situation, with, throwing those 2 interceptions against Alabama and not playing so very well, not playing so much after that, but still being a team player. You don't hear him griping and moaning and complaining. Football is a team sport. If it was an individual sport, then there wouldn't be 11 guys on the field at one time. But, as most of you guys know, and ladies as well, if you don't have a burning desire inside of you to be number 1 or to be the starter, then there's no reason for you to be there. And I know he has that burning inside of him, but at this present moment, Jordan gives us the best option and best chances to win. And I think Coach Miles knows that, and his coaching staff and the team knows that, as well as Jarrett Lee. But at the same time, if something were to happen with Jordan, I believe that Jarrett Lee can come in and do a phenomenal job and win any game that we play in. He's got the surrounding cast around him, so it's just a matter of of us putting it together on the field. In the SEC championship, we started off slow. Excuse me. The offense was not really clicking, and the defense was kind of a little bit taken back by surprise, just slightly. with some miscues from Georgia, they allowed us to stay in the game. You know, and I think we win this halftime 10-7 deficit. But you know, the resilience of this team showed up again in the second half, as we always do. And, you know, we just shut them down. I think we had 42 unanswered points. And, I mean, how can you, you know, in a championship game, there's no way that, you know, that should ever happen. But guess what? This is a magical season for the LSU Tigers. Oklahoma State is on the outside looking in because they had a, you know, a loss to an Iowa State team, I believe, that was, you know, it was, you know, a decent team, but it's not a loss to the #1 ranked, you know, LSU Tigers in your own backyard, as Alabama saw, and they felt. And so I agree with the BCS, I agree with the coaches, I agree with everybody else that voted Alabama #2, LSU #1. That's the two best teams in the country, and the two best teams in the country are, I want to say, 36 and 47 in total offense. But on defense, in total defense, they're #1 and #2. That's what wins championships. When Coach Miles came here, Coach Saban had already had the game plan, already had the groundwork done to bring in the biggest, strongest, and the fastest players and smartest players, as Coach said, to form a defensive-first team, starting with the interior line. And then all Les Miles had to do was continue to follow that guideline and just recruit like crazy and get all the best guys that he could. And that's what he's done. And that's why we're to this point we are today. I can't wait till, you know, January 9 to watch that game. You know, hopefully I'll be at the game with my son. You know, it's going to be a magical night. It's been a magical season already. I don't see it stopping. And the only thing that's in our way now is Coach Nick Saban and the mighty Alabama Crimson Tide, who I think will get taken down by the LSU Tigers here January 9th, no matter what. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, it's just a wonderful feeling once again to be an alumni and to just enjoy this whole run that we're having. 13-0, man. It's sweet. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's sweet. And you know, last but not least, certainly I want to echo Mr. Paul's comments on Bobby. I love your show, man. I love everything you do. My son and I, every time we're driving home from school, picking them up, we're listening to you, man. And I want to tell you, you know, you're one of my idols, man. That's why I played the game. I played the game, you know, to watch. You know, when I watched you play, and as being from New Orleans, and you're a Saint quarterback, being from this area, I've always inspired to do that, and you've inspired myself and my son as well. So we really appreciate that, man. And thanks again for the Quarterback Club for having me. Anybody have any questions? Any questions?
Raise your hand.
All right, well, good. Like Coach, I must have did a great job. Thank you, guys.